G'day, Starlo here. Some of you might remember that a month or two ago I had an initial run with one of the Avator 35E electric outboard motors and gave you my first impressions of it. And I was quite impressed. That motor's a fairly new one, the 35E. The first Avator that actually came out was this one that I'm having a run with today. This is the 7.5E, a much smaller motor. It's about equivalent to a 3.5 horsepower petrol powered outboard. Fair bit more expensive, of course, as all these electric outboards are, but this one is actually rigged on a little bluefin boat. This is actually the sponsored boat of the Women's Recreational Fishing League that my wife Jo established. This is their fully sponsored rig that they're using in various bass electric competitions up and down the coast and inland. It's a really nice little rig and it's well set up, and I'm looking forward to having a bit of a run with the 7.5E. You know, I got some really interesting feedback on that first review. It really seems to divide people into two camps. There are those who think that electric outboards are a great idea and the way of the future, and others who see them as the work of the devil. Anything with a battery in it. Well, I got news for you. You're probably watching this on a device with a battery in it. I'm filming it on a device with a battery in it. I got here in a car with a battery in it. Electricity isn't the work of the devil. It's actually a really, really useful power and force, and I think it's got a big future in outboard motors like these Avators. Look, this is, as I explained before, their first generation. They're going to get better. You're going to end up getting more bang for your buck. But at the moment, I think Mercury have done a fantastic thing diving in the deep end and having a crack. Anyway, speaking of having a crack, let's open this thing up and see how it goes. I remember it nearly blew my hat off with the 35E. The acceleration was pretty amazing. Whoa. I don't expect anything like that much oomph out of the 7.5, but here we go. Yeah, much gentler, but incredibly quiet. And it's pushing it along really nicely. Apparently the girls have got one of the quickest boats in the electric comps. It's, like I said, a great little rig. They've got a motor guide on the front, they've got a Garmin sounder. It's just really nicely set up to fish in those electric comps. Love how quiet it is. The big thing with any of these electric motors though is that you get far more mileage out of them if you just back off a little bit. At 100% full noise, you'll get about an hour of running time out of one battery on this motor. But cut back to 75% and that goes way up, and cut back to 50% and it goes way up again. You get lots and lots more hours and lots more range. And of course, you can carry a spare battery. And they're not enormous. That's the battery. And that'll give me that running time again. I've got news for you. You can run out of petrol in a petrol powered motor as well. A lot of the little 3.5s that this is the equivalent to have a built-in fuel tank, and they don't last very long at all. So you'd have to carry spare fuel, just as it would make a lot of sense to carry a spare battery with one of these. Like I said, I really think this is the way of the future. Maybe not in my lifetime, but certainly in the lifetime of many people who are watching this. We'll be seeing a lot of electric and perhaps even hydrogen powered outboards out on the water. Fossil fuels are finite. Whatever you think about burning them, we're eventually going to run out of them, and before then they're going to get very expensive. So electricity is a good way to go. It's only one of many options, but it's a really important one. All right. I think the girls are going to have an absolute ball in this little rig. In fact, they already are. Check out this action from their recent Flatty X comp. Nice one.
Yes, bring that on.
I was having fun in this rig too. I really didn't want to take it back, but eventually I had to. Look, whatever your preconceived notions are, I'd strongly recommend taking the time to find out a bit more about these groundbreaking motors. They really are worth a second look. Until next time, this is Starlo wishing you tight lines.